Hey, Scruffy. So, I'm back. Not coming up to the door, huh? You already gone feral? Gone only a day. I have meaty pate. I think it's the real chicken and tuna. And then I got your kibble and your rotisserie chicken bonus. So I have one more night, I think, left of the rotisserie chicken. So we'll use it up tomorrow. Okay. Well, Scruffy remembers the pets, so he hasn't gone completely feral. So, yeah, I was gone for dinner last night. So, yesterday I fed him a lunch right before I had to leave. So, I gave him a little extra kibble and some rotisserie chicken scraps for lunch. And then I set up the automated pet food dispenser for dinner. And the pet food dispenser, I think it gives them a lot more kibble, so it gives them more kibble than I would normally give them, but it's partly to make up for the fact that he's not getting wet cat food at dinner time. But I think I'm also overcompensating a little, so I'm giving a little extra food just in case. So I got back really late last night. I wasn't planning to clean up the water bowl and pet food dispenser last night, but then I remembered I forgot to secure the lid on the pet food dispenser. I didn't lock it. I just kind of put it on, and I put some extra painter's tape on it to further secure it. So the tape was actually on it, but I forgot to actually snap the plastic latches closed, which is probably the more important part. And the reason I started getting concerned was I was worried that maybe the raccoons would find it, and if the lid wasn't on securely, they would knock it over, shake it open. And I didn't want to deal with the possibility that I encouraged the raccoons to destroy the machine. So I decided I'd come out in the middle of the night and clean up the machine and water bowl. And I didn't see Scruffy around, so it was pretty late, and I don't know where he hangs out. So the machine was fine, so yeah, raccoons haven't come yet. I think the raccoons come, I think the last time I saw the raccoons, they came probably around 4 in the morning, so it wasn't quite that late. So, and the water bowl had just a little bit of water left, so I think Scruffy drank most of it. I think. So I tried not to fill the bowl all the way because I didn't want to leave water out to for the raccoons to attract the raccoons. So apparently, the way raccoons, I don't know, they almost taste their food with their hands or something like that. So they're constantly trying to wash their hands. So when they touch their food, I guess they can sense, what it is and how it tastes, and so they're constantly looking for water sources to wash their hands. And they found the water bowl a while back, and they were making a mess here, and they're kind of dangerous, probably for Scruffy, so I didn't want to keep the water out because it kept attracting the raccoons to them, and they still have raccoon prints on the deck from the last time they made a big mess. And then one night I heard them. It was in the middle of the night, and I got up and I just missed it, but I saw fresh, wet footprints that matched a raccoon. So, so I know they're around. So anyway, yeah, I filled up the water bowl almost perfectly. I actually thought I put too much water in there, but it actually was just right. So actually, did I film it? I'll probably have to take note of how much I filled it yesterday. So next time around, I can try to fill it about the same. Because yeah, it was just about perfect. So probably just a little tad less water, and it would have been perfect. Yeah, just absolutely perfect. So Scruffy's very calm tonight, and very few meows, but at least he hasn't gone completely feral. I was a little worried at lunch. He was not doing his normal thing. I'll talk about that when I give him his food. But yeah, I got back late because the train there was something was going on, and they weren't telling us what, but a bunch of the trains were canceled. And so there was no explanation why the trains were canceled, but yeah, through kind of a monkey wrench in my attempts to get back. And so fortunately, I had checked the schedule before we had departed for the train station, and I think it said like the next two trains have been canceled, and it'd be like the third one claimed to be running again, and then I think going further in the schedule, the fourth one I think after that would be canceled again, and yeah, and then I think a bunch of other trains after that were also canceled, but they were kind of interspersing them, so it looked like they were just cutting back the train number of trains quite a bit. So they're still kind of running, but not exactly, but not as frequently. But it wasn't clear if they were the ones that were canceled were why they were canceled, and then if the ones that they were still planning to run were actually going to get canceled too for the unspecified reasons why the first ones were canceled. So there could have been an issue with the track, and they were just being optimistic. So yeah, nobody was actually telling us anything. The chin rub there. Scruffy's pretty calm, so I think I'm gonna. Oh, it's gonna get him his food, but yeah, he just turned there, wanted more pets, and I think I heard a purr. So I'm gonna get him his food. Ready for food? Quiet tonight. Very quiet meows tonight. Okay, so Scruffy didn't dodge the brush. So he hasn't gone completely feral. Okay. So, yeah, the reason I kind of joke that he might have gone feral over the one dinner that I was absent last night was because at lunch he wasn't at the door. So I saw him this morning on the rocks. So I did catch him sunbathing, and I think I actually got some footage of that. Um, the sun actually didn't come out much today, so I think he was hoping the sun would come out. But yeah, it was actually surprisingly cloudy today, and it kind of got worse throughout the day. The clouds got darker and darker. But anyway, so at lunch I didn't see him here, but I figured, well, better bring out the water and kibble, see what he's up to. Well, you know, he might have gone feral again, so I have to, you know, retrain him. But I was also thinking maybe because the pet feeder gives him extra kibble, maybe he wasn't as hungry. And but anyway, yeah, I looked around and I found him. Eventually, he was behind the big table, so he was kind of keeping his distance. And then finally, when I put down the kibble, then he kind of came walking over to eat the kibble. But yeah, no meows, no. He didn't make a peep. Didn't seem to really acknowledge me either. Just waiting for me to pour the kibble, and then he'd eat, and that was that. But yeah, so that was why I was kind of joking. You know, he's gone feral. Because yeah, he's already broken the pattern. But as I said, yeah, maybe he just ate too much last night because the feeder gave him too much food. And then, as I mentioned a long time ago, when I first started this, I tried to feed him both lunch and dinner. And after a while, he seemed to lose interest in the lunches. So I just stopped giving him lunch. And I thought maybe it's because I was feeding him, you know, or just maybe he was getting too much food because I was feeding him too often. So since he wasn't interested in lunch, I just kind of gave up. And the only reason I started giving him kibble again was, whatever it was, a month ago or whatever it was, he injured his leg, and he was limping, and I was worried that because he was limping, he wouldn't be able to hunt, and I presume he gets extra food by catching things every now and then, and so I wanted to make sure that he was getting enough food to compensate for the fact that he probably wouldn't be able to catch anything. So I started feeding him a lot more, and I was feeding him again at lunch, as well as dinner. And then after his leg healed, it looked like he was still kind of interested in getting food at lunch, and I didn't really have the heart to stop it again. So I thought I'd give him a little kibble at lunch, not as much as I originally did back when I first, when I was trying to do it when I first started. So I was just giving him a very tiny scoop now, just a little snack to tide him over. And if he wants to catch more food, he's welcome to, and encouraged to. But yeah, since he didn't show up today, I thought, maybe he's gone feral, or maybe he's reverted back to the fact that he doesn't want lunch anymore. But he ate it, so I don't know. But if he keeps doing that, maybe I'll just stop giving him the kibble at lunch, like I did originally, because I don't need to feed him if he doesn't want it. Less time out of my day. So yeah, anyway, the train schedule was online. Yeah, it wasn't explaining anything. So basically, when it looked like there was going to be a train running, I got a ride to the train station, and then I was on my own. So I got to the train station, and I think there was supposed to be a train. So my train was supposed to be arriving, I think, in 10 minutes, 10 or 20 minutes. I think it was closer to 20 minutes. And they weren't. They don't run direct lines anymore at that hour, so I knew I was going to have to transfer. But when I got into the platform, the the announcement, the board was showing that there was actually my train, or train line that I wanted was actually supposed to arrive in a couple minutes. And then there were kind of standard notices telling people that because there's no direct line to where I'm going, I should be taking that train and transferring at the place that I expected to transfer. And so I said, "Oh, I got lucky." So it looks like they are running the train I need, and it's going to be a little bit early, but that works for me. And then a few minutes pass, and the train on the board has not moved. It's still telling me it's going to be the same number of minutes away, so it hasn't changed. Meanwhile, there's another train, a different train line behind it that's coming. And then the next two trains behind that are, I think, something like 45 minutes behind, so I'd be waiting a long time for the next train. And so I keep watching, and basically, yeah, my train is not moving at all, and the train behind it keeps getting closer and closer. And unfortunately, the train behind it is not the line I was planning to take. Um, and then this kept happening, and these tracks aren't really designed for trains to pass each other. So my thinking was that one of the stations up ahead was probably trying to deploy, or planning on deploying, a new train that would be the one I was supposed to take, but they actually haven't deployed it in the board's line, basically, because eventually the train behind it overtook it, and if it was on the track, it shouldn't have been able to do that. The train should have blocked it. They don't really have a lot of mechanisms for trains to pass each other on this section of track, except at the station, but only if that train was not on that track to begin with. If they were rolling it on, in service or something, that might work. But so anyway, finally my train starts moving again, or the time starts ticking down a little bit. So it looks like it's coming, but the train behind it has already overtaken it, so that one's going to arrive first. And so now I have to make a decision about whether I believe that they've actually gotten the train going or not. And I didn't really believe them because they've been lying about everything else. So finally, the other train line arrives, and I decide I'm going to get on that one, and I'm not going to risk the train the train I'm supposed to get on to actually show up. So the problem with the train that I get on is it actually goes kind of the wrong direction a little bit. It starts off in the right direction, but so the first part of the train, it goes, I think, east. So both trains would go east, and then they fork. So one heads north, the other heads south. The one I was anticipating I need to take it south, but the one I got on actually goes north, which is the opposite direction I want to go. However, I believe, unless they're doing something funny, that I have to transfer, and my belief is that the transfer train actually will need to hit both. So if I get off quickly enough on the northbound train, if I could transfer fast enough, I should be able to get the transfer, and that would actually be the same train I ultimately get on if I took the other train, assuming it actually materialized and wasn't late. Now they could play other games where that train actually doesn't exist and it starts further down the line or something. So it's not a it's not a perfect theory. But since they weren't giving me any good information, I was basically kind of guessing, what the most likely, things, the most likely things that were happening in the train system. So anyway, I had to go to another station. So I took the northbound, or the train that breaks to the north, and took my chances of trying to do a transfer there. So yeah, I was a little stressed because it was no guarantee this is going to work out. And then it was late enough that if um, things dilly dally too much, the trains will stop running because they'll shut down for the night, and then I'll be stranded at some random station very far away from where I'm supposed to be going. Especially since I'm taking a northbound train in the opposite direction of where I was supposed to be going, so I'm even further away, and I'd probably be stranded in the train station for the night if that happened, unless I could figure out how to flag a taxi or something. Since I don't have a phone, it's hard to. I'd have to basically find somebody who might be able to, call a taxi or. So the thing is, I don't think an Uber would work because I wouldn't be able to pay the Uber driver. So somebody could flag an Uber for me, but I'm not sure how I'd actually pay the driver without the app. So anyway, a little stressful, but it actually ended up working out. Um, so I got to the transfer station on the northbound break, and I had to basically I didn't know that train station, so because I basically have to reverse directions, I'd have to switch. So I was on the wrong platform because the train goes in the opposite direction, and then it's a different line, so I actually had to go to a different section anyway. So I wasn't sure how this station was laid out, but fortunately it worked out. I found it, and I got my transfer, and made it all the way back to where I was supposed to go. And I have no clue if that other train actually, the train I was supposed to get on actually ever materialized, but I guess I didn't need to care. So I moved the balls for Scruffy. There's still food at the bottom of the bowl. And there's a little bit of kibble on top of this golf ball and big ball. Yeah, I think I fed Scruffy too much tonight. I don't think or maybe last night. He doesn't seem as hungry. Didn't do a very good job cleaning the bowl. I should put since there's extra rotisserie chicken there, it's more food than usual on top of that, so it's probably not going to help. So I'm planning to give Scruffy the last of the rotisserie chicken scraps that I saved for him tomorrow. I actually have more. I actually decided to freeze some of them, but I also froze a bunch of turkey stuff for him as well. So I actually have a backlog of things I can give him, but I'm not sure when I'm going to thaw them out. food stuck to the ball and on the plate. More. It's a little bit on the golf ball, not much, but I saw some on the big ball, but I think it fell off. Okay, I think he's done. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. See you next time.